That was the second word I've said today. The first word was February, when I was trying to figure out how to spell it, and I set it into Siri to figure out how to spell it. It is February 4th. It's 9:37 in the morning. I'm wondering right now if this looks very different, because yesterday I was working on figuring out oh man, it does actually. I feel like in my head I think it looks different. Anyway, yesterday I changed the settings in my OBS to make it so then I could screen capture and actually record good-looking videos, instead of saving a 2-hour podcast and then going through it and picking which clips I wanted out of it. I decided I'd just screen record certain parts of the podcast and then upload those recorded clips into an editor and edit those down instead of that other way. Yeah, I thought to myself that I was going to write down the main things I wanted to talk about in this one today, and I wrote down what it was, what kind of good I wanted to do today, but I actually forgot to write down the other thing. But yeah, I think that this definitely... I think that this does look better. I can't tell though, but I'll do a comparison right after. I think undoubtedly it probably looks better because I turned the bit rate up from 2,500 to 10,000. Yeah, I hope that it doesn't end up being like laggy in any way. Anyway, I feel like laying down. Oh, because my body feels fucking tired. I think that I want to have something in mind for like a weekly goal, a monthly goal, and a yearly goal. And I don't think this is possible without without setting a fucking goal. So, thinking about what a goal could be for this month of February, I think a good goal... Actually, let's start with the year. I want to rein in my focus, my ability to focus in on something. I want to be able to look at my ability to focus compared to last year and have it be at least twice as good as it was compared to last year. And I think that's doable because, sometimes my focus feels like it is really, really bad. So how would I do this? Well, I think by the end of this month, I want to have the Focus 14 nailed down, like the set plan, and I want to start it at the latest. If I haven't started it in February, I want to start it in March. I do have trouble focusing on things, and I think coming up with a system that I agree to, that I have to do for 2 weeks in a row, 14 consecutive days in a row. I think that could seriously help my ability to hone in on one specific set of focuses. I think it could help that ability grow. But yeah, I think I said this in the last video. I don't think that I lack motivation. I don't think that I lack the knowledge or the drive knowing what it is I need to do, I know. I do know. What I lack is a lack of focus, a lack of consistent focus. And, I can go off and take a week, take 2 weeks to decide to turn into fucking David Goggins and painstakingly put myself through things I don't like to do every single day. But I also think that I think it's good to have those kind of weeks too. I think those weeks are needed, especially when you're doing something like training every single day. But when it comes to the actual mental work, which all of the stuff that I'm doing really does have to do with the mind, I think that I need to be able to just snap my brain into focus and simply be able to point and shoot. Yeah. That's the main thought on my mind this morning. Also, another thought is how much I enjoy spending the morning, not doing anything specific. Like in the mornings, the past couple of times, I've woken up and I've wanted to jump like straight into things. What did I do yesterday morning? Yeah, it does feel a little bit different when you wake up with somebody in your bed with you too. Makes it harder to jump into that routine unless, your routine's built around that person. Or at least to cater to the new variables in play due to that person being within my home. But yeah, it's like my lack of focus causes me to make decisions or choose to avoid decisions that I simply know need to be done. I simply know don't need to be done. Like, why is it that you've just done this thing? Like last night, I chose to have 2 Twix bars. 2. After like a few, maybe I think nearly more than 2 hours after I had last eaten. So I'd had dinner. I had these Twix bars at, I think it was like 9:30, and I can't complain about my body being tired, about my body needing rest, when I don't give my body the right environment to rest to its full capacity. For one, eating like that isn't good. But also, the main point is eating that late in the night when you know that you're going to go to sleep and your body's going to attempt to regenerate. You stop your body from doing something like that. And especially when your body is in this kind of state where, so my legs, anytime I work out my legs are just, yeah. But if I'm in a state of recovery, of muscle recovery, it's like you regardless of even if I'm in that state, it's like you have to be mindful of the things that you want. And of course you can weigh the odds of like, okay, I want a Twix bar right now, but also This isn't healthy for me. And it's super late in the fucking night. I can weigh those options in comparison to what I truly want. Sure, I want this Twix bar, but I also want a healthy body. I want my body to regenerate correctly tonight. I want my body to have the right materials to regenerate to its best ability. And I want a degree of focus where I can choose to focus in on that specific reality, that specific truth that I understand is so true, and let go of the other focus, which is focusing on that craving. If I could develop the ability to focus in on something specific, chosen at will, at any single point, I think it could be the answer to a lot of the issues within the systems that I continue to try to build. But yeah, coming up with weekly and monthly goals, and always keeping in mind that yearly goal, I think it could help me keep my head straight, because sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm not really quite sure exactly what it is I want to focus on today, because I know what there is to be done. I know there's a lot of things that I could do. What actually I need to understand is what should be done, or what I can focus on a goal and understand what needs to be done to achieve that goal. Because I think that I have a lot of goals in my head. If you end up expending your energy towards all these different directions, you'll find yourself really close to the same spot that you started in. Instead of focusing on one specific thing, bam, bam, one step further, one step further, one step further, instead of like one step this way, one step that way, one step that way, one step that way. You actually find yourself really close to that goal, or really actually there. Today's focus is, and then I can create small goals for the day around that specific focus. In order to achieve this week's focus, I have to focus on these things. This month's focus is broken into these weeks of focus, broken into these days, broken into hours. Now that's something to build up to. Something that I have been reflecting on lately is, keeping a goal in mind, wanting to build myself into a new person, and making sure that I am giving myself time. Because I want to do these things, but also I don't want to find myself in a constant state of self-degradation, where I tell myself I'm not doing enough constantly, or I feel like I'm not doing enough constantly. I never give myself wins. I never pat myself on the back because it's not enough. I don't want to be in that state constantly. And feeling rushed, feeling like I'm behind, will always put me in that state. Things take time, and I can try to prove to myself that I'm completely different than everybody else in certain ways. But I get to choose the ways, and I don't need to choose that I'm significantly faster than working all these issues out within my own mind and with my own self, faster than everybody else. There's a reason it takes time. There's a reason it's hard. There's a reason not everybody does it. But yeah, on mornings like this where I know that my body it wasn't able to focus its energy to specifically regenerate my body, I end up feeling a little bit of brain fog. Tonight I'm supposed to smoke weed with A, because she's working in a weed shop now, which is, yeah, and she's never smoked weed before. I think she's had like weed jelly, or weed gummies as Americans call it. But she's never smoked any weed, which that's what she's mainly selling now. So yeah, I thought that could be fun. When's the last time I smoked weed? Last time I smoked weed was yeah, it was in January. I think it was in the very beginning of January. Yeah, January was such a month of like recovery from different sicknesses. It felt like almost the entire month. It totally like threw off what I felt like was a few systems I had in place. That's something that I want to be able to really hone in on too, is be able to reevaluate and then recenter back to where I was. Because if I'm truly driven and truly focused, I'm going to need to be able to pull myself back into the place that I was in before I was interrupted. And there will be interruptions. In order to do that, I need to have a clear idea of what I'm focusing on and a clear idea of what it will take to truly focus on it. In the very beginning of this journey of my life and understanding very specifically, and in the very beginning of building this foundation for my own ability to focus, I think that I need to do a lot of hand-holding with myself. I can't throw myself into the world and expect myself to just pick up these things super nilly-willy and easy, and I need to do hand-holding with my own mind. And what I mean by that is, make it easy for my mind, and then also make sure that I'm continually putting in guidelines and like ushering myself along giving myself pats on the back when I do good. Like, yeah, there's such a big part of myself that wants to stonewall my way, wants to charge my way into this idea, break through all these walls that are put up for everybody, and stonewall my way into this reality where I'm just really good at setting my eyes on something and locking it down and learning it, and bam, I have it, it's done, I can do it. You know, some things are completely different than others, and I think some things come naturally to some people. And when I found those things that came naturally to me, I felt like, I'm able to do this with everything. And I need to understand that if I truly want to play this game, I have to understand that the rules are what I make it. And I don't currently have the ability to change the rules for myself. I don't have that much control over my actual perception of this reality. So, with that understanding, I have to play the rules the way everybody else is playing them. I can't fool myself with this idea that I'm playing by a different set of rules, a drastically different set of rules. I can't will my way into this idea that I'm just a master at, like, naturally, bam, here I am, 19, master of everything, of every ability. I'm able to hone in on what I want and bam, it's done. I can do it. I can't do that when I can barely even hone in on something, let alone have the natural ability to be able to do it immediately to the best of my ability. So the first step is learning how to focus in on it and retain that focus. Pick it back up when it's dropped. And that is this year's goal. And I think we should come up with something that's, a goal that is like, I want to focus. I want this year's goal. This year's goal is to work on my focus and make it better. I want to feel like it's 2 times better than last year. I also want a goal that's actually measurable. I think that could be good. And I think that goal could be something around the lines of completing a total of 3 months of pure focus. So that would be 6 14 focuses, focus 14s, which that's so doable. I'm not settled on that because it's the year goal and I have to think about it more. But yeah, it's February. It's already February. We're already a month into 2024. Time passes so fast if you let it. If you don't grab hold of it and make something of it, it will feel like it's passing so quickly. But yeah, step by step I'm figuring it out. I think that truly the first thing I need to understand is focus. So, with that in mind, let's keep building Focus 14. And let's keep understanding what it means to handhold. Yeah. I think I'm done with this video. It's February 4th. It's probably... It must be close to 10 o'clock by now. I actually don't remember what the time was when we first started. It's 10:03. I hope you enjoyed this day if you were live on today. February 4th, it's 10:03 a.m. 10:03 in the morning. Today is a beautiful day. And I'll see you soon. Maybe tomorrow. Goodbye.